When Travis Kelce asked Jason to meet him privately in Philadelphia on a crisp December afternoon in 2025, Jason thought they were just getting together for their usual brother time during Travis's one day off from the intense NFL season. He never expected that Travis had called him there to share the most important piece of paper he'd ever written by hand, or that reading those carefully chosen words would reduce both grown men to tears as they realized their little brother, big brother dynamic was about to change forever. It was December 2nd, 2025, and Jason Kelce was driving through the familiar streets of Philadelphia toward the restaurant where Travis had asked to meet him. The text message had been unusually specific and urgent. "Can you meet me at Zahav tomorrow at 1 p.m.? Just, Kylie, no kids. I need to give you something important. I have to fly back to KC by 6 p.m. for practice Wednesday. So this is my only shot." The timing was unusual. It was the middle of the NFL season and Travis rarely had time for anything beyond football training and spending time with Taylor when their schedules aligned. Tuesday was the Chiefs' designated off day, but most players used it for recovery and rest, not for traveling across the country for lunch meetings. Jason had been curious about the mysterious nature of Travis's request, but he'd assumed it was probably something urgent related to business. Maybe Travis needed legal advice about a contract situation or wanted to discuss some family matter that couldn't wait until the off-season. The Kelce brothers had always been each other's closest advisors, but it was rare for Travis to be this insistent about meeting in person during the season. What Jason didn't know was that Travis had been planning this moment for weeks, carefully considering how and when to give his older brother the most meaningful piece of paper he'd ever written. The timing couldn't wait any longer. Travis and Taylor had been engaged since August, and while they'd initially considered several different dates, they'd recently settled on a date that felt perfect for both of them. June 13th, 2026, Taylor's lucky number, the middle of Travis's off-season, and early enough in the summer that it wouldn't interfere with training camp or Taylor's potential touring schedule. But before Travis could move forward with any of the detailed wedding planning, before he could finalize venues or send out save the dates or start thinking about bachelor parties, he knew he had to have this conversation with Jason. Travis had chartered a private jet for the day, something he rarely did during the season, but this conversation was important enough to justify the expense and the travel time. He'd flown into Philadelphia that morning, gone for a quick run through his old neighborhood to clear his head, and arrived at Zahav 30 minutes early to make sure everything was perfect for what he hoped would be one of the most meaningful conversations of his life. The restaurant was relatively quiet for a Tuesday afternoon with just a few other tables, occupied by business lunch meetings and couples enjoying leisurely meals. Travis had chosen Zahav specifically because it was upscale enough to feel special, intimate enough for the kind of emotional conversation he was planning to have, and private enough that they could talk without worrying about being overheard or photographed. Travis sat at a corner table, nervously adjusting the envelope in his jacket pocket for probably the 20th time that day. The envelope contained something he'd worked on for hours over the past 2 weeks during his limited free time. A handwritten wedding invitation specifically crafted for Jason, along with a letter that expressed everything he'd never quite been able to say about what his older brother meant to him. When Jason walked into the restaurant, he immediately spotted Travis's nervous energy. Even from across the room, Jason could tell his little brother was agitated about something. Travis was fidgeting with his water glass, checking his phone repeatedly, and had that particular expression he'd worn since childhood when he had something important to say, but wasn't sure how to say it. "All right, what's going on?" Jason said as he sat down, studying Travis's face with the practiced eye of an older brother who'd been reading Travis's moods for 36 years. "You look like you're about to tell me you're getting traded or something." Travis laughed nervously. "Not getting traded, but it is something that's going to change everything." "Okay, now you're really making me nervous. What's up? Is everything okay with you and Taylor? Does someone sick? Did something happen?" "Everything's perfect with Taylor. Better than perfect, actually. That's exactly what this is about." Jason relaxed slightly. But he was still confused about why Travis had insisted on this urgent private meeting in the middle of the season. "Then what's so important that you flew to Philadelphia on your one day off?" Travis reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out an elegant cream-colored envelope with Jason's name written on it in Travis's careful handwriting. The envelope looked formal, expensive, like something that required ceremony and significance. "I wanted to give you this in person," Travis said, his voice carrying more emotion than Jason was expecting. "Just you and me. No distractions, no other family around, no phones or cameras or anything else. This needed to be private." Jason looked at the envelope, then at Travis, trying to read his brother's expression. The weight and formality of the envelope suggested something major, something that required the kind of attention and respect that could only be given in person. "Travis, what is this?" "Just open it." Jason carefully opened the envelope, immediately noting the quality of the paper and the obvious care that had gone into whatever was inside. He found 2 pieces of paper, both clearly crafted with enormous attention to detail and emotional investment. The first was a formal wedding invitation, but not the standard invitation that would be sent to their extended family and friends. This one was completely personalized for Jason with details that made it clear this wasn't just a mass-produced card, but something created specifically for him. The invitation was printed on heavy cream-colored cardstock with elegant calligraphy that Taylor had helped Travis choose. But what made Jason's breath catch was the personalized message at the bottom, written entirely in Travis's own careful handwriting. "Jason, you've been my hero, my role model, and my best friend for 36 years. You taught me what it means to be a man, a leader, and someone worth looking up to. I can't imagine getting married without you standing beside me as my best man and most important groomsman. This invitation isn't just asking you to come to my wedding. It's asking you to help me become the husband and family man you've shown me how to be. June 13th, 2026 can't come soon enough, but it won't mean anything without you there beside me." The date hit Jason immediately. June 13th, 2026, Taylor's lucky number. Perfectly timed for the off-season. Far enough away to plan something beautiful, but close enough to feel real and exciting. But it was the second piece of paper that made Jason's eyes immediately fill with tears. It was a handwritten letter from Travis. 3 full pages of his younger brother's thoughts about their relationship, what Jason meant to him, and what this wedding represented for both of them. Asterisk, Jason, I've been trying to figure out how to write this letter for weeks, and I keep coming back to the same thing. You are the reason I know how to love someone the way I love Taylor. I know that might sound weird, but hear me out. Everything I know about commitment, about putting someone else first, about being reliable and protective and loyal, I learned that from watching you. I learned it from watching how you love Kylie, how you're a father to your girls, how you've been a brother to me every single day of my life. Do you remember when I was 8 and I told Mom and Dad I wanted to be just like you when I grew up? I wasn't talking about football. I was talking about the way you made everyone around you feel safe and important. I wanted to be the kind of person people could count on the way everyone has always been able to count on you. When I met Taylor and I started falling in love with her, I found myself thinking about you and Kylie constantly. I thought about how you two built something real and lasting, how you support each other's dreams, how you make each other laugh even during the hard times, how you've created this beautiful family together. And I thought, that's what I want. I want what Jason and Kylie have. I want to love Taylor the way you love Kylie. I want to be the father to our future kids that you are to Wyatt, Elliot, Bennett, and Finley. I want to build the kind of partnership you and Kylie have. We're your teammates in absolutely everything. I know how proud Dad is going to be when he sees us standing side by side on my wedding day, knowing that his sons have built the kind of bond he always hoped we would. And I know how grateful he'll be that you helped raise me into someone worthy of a love like Taylor's. You've been like a second father to me in so many ways, especially when I needed guidance about what it means to be a man. You've been my guide and my example for how to handle pressure, how to treat people with respect, how to be loyal and dependable and strong when people are counting on you. This wedding on June 13th isn't just about Taylor and me promising to love each other forever. It's about me finally becoming the kind of man you raised me to be. It's about me starting a family with the foundation you gave me, the values you taught me, the example you set for me. Jason, having you as my best man feels Lee. And watching you with Taylor, seeing how happy and settled and complete you are with her, it's the greatest gift you could have given our entire family. She's perfect for you and you're perfect for her. Do you really think so? I know. So, Travis, Dad is going to be so proud walking into that ceremony and seeing his two sons standing together. He's going to be so happy to see you marrying someone who loves you the way Taylor does. Someone who sees all the amazing things about you that we've always seen. At the mention of their father, both brothers felt their emotions intensify even more. Ed Kelce had been their hero and their guide throughout their lives, and the thought of him witnessing this moment, seeing his sons bond and Travis's happiness with Taylor, made the whole thing feel even more significant and meaningful. I can't wait for him to see us up there together. Travis said, thinking about the family dynamics of the wedding day. I want him to feel like he's gaining a daughter, not losing a son. He already feels that way about Taylor. Dad loves her like she's been part of our family for years. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, both processing the emotional weight of the conversation and what it meant for their relationship and their family moving forward. So Jason said finally, wiping his eyes again and trying to lighten the mood slightly while still honoring the significance of the moment. Best man, huh? You sure you can handle me giving a speech about all your most embarrassing childhood moments? Travis laughed through his tears, feeling some of the nervous tension release. I'm absolutely counting on it. What's the point of having an older brother if he doesn't embarrass you in front of everyone you love on your wedding day? Oh, I have stories. 36 years worth of stories. Remember when you tried to impress that girl in high school by telling her you were stronger than me and then challenged me to an arm wrestling contest right there in the cafeteria? Please tell me you're not going to include that story in your speech. I'm definitely including that story in my speech. And the one about you practicing your cool guy walk in the mirror for weeks before homecoming. I should have asked Taylor's dad to be my best man. Too late now. You already gave me the letter. I have written evidence that you think I'm the greatest brother in the world. Travis smiled, feeling lighter and happier than he had in months. I do think you're the greatest brother in the world. And Jason, I want you to tell all those embarrassing stories. I want everyone at that wedding to understand what kind of family I come from. What kind of brother helped raise me into someone worthy of Taylor? Jason felt his emotions rising again at Travis's sincerity. You're going to make me cry again. Good, because I'm still not done being emotional about this. What else could there possibly be? Travis reached into his other jacket pocket and pulled out a small black velvet box that was clearly from an expensive jewelry store. I got you something. A best man gift that I wanted to give you now so you'd have time to think about what it means. Jason opened the box and found himself looking at a pair of the most beautiful cufflinks he'd ever seen. They were platinum with the Kelce family crest expertly engraved on them along with the date of Travis's wedding. June 13th, 2026, but what made them truly special was the small inscription on each cufflink. Big brother on one and best man on the other. Travis, these are absolutely incredible. These must have cost more than my first car. I wanted you to have something that represents both roles. The brother who raised me and shaped me and the best man who's going to stand with me when I marry the love of my life. Something you can wear on the day and keep forever. Jason carefully examined the cufflinks, noting every detail of the craftsmanship and the thoughtfulness behind the design. I'm going to wear these on your wedding day, and I'm going to think about this lunch every time I see them for the rest of my life. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. Jason put the cufflinks back in their velvet box and looked at his younger brother with an expression of pure love, pride, and overwhelming emotion. You know what this means, right? What this means? I have to make sure your wedding day is absolutely perfect. This means I have to plan the best bachelor party in the history of bachelor parties. Something worthy of someone marrying Taylor Swift. This means I have to write a speech that makes everyone cry, but also makes them laugh and understand how special you are. This means I have to be the best man you deserve. Travis felt overwhelmed by Jason's immediate commitment and the intensity of his love. Jason, you've already been the best man I know for my entire life. All you have to do on June 13th is be yourself and stand beside me. Are you nervous about the wedding? About making that kind of commitment? Travis considered this question seriously, thinking about both the excitement and the weight of what he was promising Taylor, not about marrying Taylor. I've never been more sure of anything in my life, but nervous about the wedding itself, about standing up in front of everyone we love and making these huge promises and hoping I can live up to them for the rest of my life. Yeah, I'm nervous about that. That's completely normal and healthy. I was terrified on my wedding day. You were? But you and Kylie seemed so perfect together. So sure of everything. We were perfect together, and I was completely sure about marrying Kylie, but that didn't stop me from being scared about everything else. About being a good enough husband. About being worthy of her love. About not messing up the best thing that had ever happened to me. Those are big, important fears. How did you get past them? Jason smiled, remembering his own wedding day and the conversation he'd had with their father that morning. I realized that I didn't have to be perfect. I just had to be completely committed. I just had to love her with everything I had and trust that we'd figure out all the rest together, one day at a time. And did you figure it out together? We're still figuring it out 15 years later. That's what marriage is. Figuring it out together every single day. Some days are easier than others. Some challenges are bigger than others. But as long as you're both committed to working through whatever comes up, you'll be more than fine. Travis nodded, feeling his anxiety about the wedding and marriage settle into something more manageable and normal. I can do that, Taylor and I are already doing that. I know you can. And Travis, if you ever need advice or just want to talk about what it's like to be married, what it's like to navigate the challenges and joys of building a life with someone, I'm always here. Being a husband is the best thing I've ever done besides being a father, and I want that same happiness for you. What's your favorite part about being married? Having a teammate for life. Having someone who's automatically on your side no matter what. Who wants your dreams to come true as much as you want theirs. Who makes everything better just by being there and choosing you every day. That's exactly what Taylor is for me. That's exactly how I feel about her. Then you're going to be incredible at this. You're going to have the kind of marriage that makes everyone around you believe in love. As their lunch began to wind down and Travis started checking the time, he had to leave for the airport soon to make it back to Kansas City for Wednesday practice. Both brothers felt like something fundamental and beautiful had shifted in their relationship. Not that they loved each other any less than they had when Travis walked into the restaurant, but that they were acknowledging and celebrating the transition into a new phase of their lives where Travis was becoming the family man that Jason had always known he could be. I have to head to the airport soon, Travis said, signaling for the check. But before I go, thank you for saying yes, for being my brother, for raising me into someone Taylor could love. Travis, being your best man is the greatest honor of my life. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for you and Taylor and this whole next chapter. I love you, Jason. I love you too, little brother. The drive to the airport gave Travis time to think about the conversation and feel grateful not just for Jason's agreement to be his best man, but for having a brother who had shaped him into someone capable of the kind of love he shared with Taylor. The flight back to Kansas City was peaceful, giving Travis space to process the emotional weight of the afternoon and start thinking about all the ways Jason would help make his wedding day perfect. Meanwhile, Jason drove home to Kylie and the girls with the invitation, the letter, and the cufflinks, feeling more honored and emotional than he had felt in years. That night, he read the letter again, carefully put the cufflinks in a special place, and started thinking about the speech he would give in the bachelor party he would plan for the brother who had just given him the greatest gift of his life. The recognition that everything he had done as an older brother had mattered. And now, just 3 days later, As Jason sits in his Philadelphia home looking at Travis's handwritten letter and those beautiful cufflinks, he's already started planning the kind of best man experience that will honor not just Travis and Taylor's love, but the brotherhood that made Travis ready for this kind of commitment. The speech is already taking shape in his mind, funny stories that show Travis's heart, emotional moments that reveal his character, and a recognition of what Taylor means not just to Travis but to their entire family. The bachelor party will be epic but meaningful, celebrating Travis's last months as a single